लोग कह रहे थे ना कि it would be such a crazy turn of events if Thug Life has disappointed us so badly. What if Houseful 5 becomes a surprise? I'm here to report to all of you, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. It's here, the film that you were all dying to know about. I'm already confessing that I watched Housefull 5A. My experience of watching this film with the prospect that the climax is different in the other version changes absolutely nothing that I feel about this film. Trust me, your ultimate assessment of the film is not going to change dependent on the climax you watch. It's literally just to lure you to buy another ticket. You cannot change my mood about what a odd experience this film was, even for a person in a mood to go out with his friends for a casual laugh. उस mood में भी अगर ये film आपकी patience test कर सकती है तो ये OG comedy तो नहीं है. It's the assumption by people in positions of power कि लोगों को quality का घंटा फर्क नहीं पड़ता. They will just come back because of the popularity of the Housefull franchise and, the most important, Akshay Kumar in his OG comedy avatar. Control. Housefull 5 is directed by Tarun Mansukhani and the story and screenplay is written by producer Sajid Nadiadwala. The film has dialogues written by Tarun Mansukhani and Farhan Nolan Samji and focuses on a cruise where Ranjit is celebrating his 100th birthday only to abruptly pass away. His will states that he wants to give his wealth worth £69 billion to his rightful heir, Jolly. The movie then presents a series of confusing events where three men pose as Jolly, basically Akshay Kumar, Abhishek Bachchan and Ritesh Deshmukh with their respective wives Nargis Fakri, Jacqueline Fernandez and Sonam Bajwa, all hoping the inheritance lands with them, only for a series of murders to take place on the cruise, leading to an investigation. Death on the Nile and Knives Out style, where cops played by Sanjay Dutt and Jackie Shroff get to the bottom of the murders carried out by a mysterious masked individual. With some homages to the previous installments of the franchise and the exquisite and organically funny lines written by Farhad Samji, we get Housefull 5. Here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of the film so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch Housefull 5, 5A, at least for this case, in theaters or not. The good. I had fun with the music. I found the music of Housefull 5 to be actually very enjoyable. The only number from the music album that I found slightly underwhelming both from a melody and choreography standpoint was Dil-e-Nadan. It's a track that just seems to never reach its peak, coming across as essentially a very generic dance number. I, however, got obsessed with Lal Pari. I found that it encompassed the madness of the ensemble cast really well, making me also conclude that Jacqueline Fernandez is one of the best dancers we have in Hindi cinema who doesn't get enough love for this craft of hers. She is absolutely flawless in every choreography, no matter what the level of its complexity. I loved Qayamat also, as the ensemble danced in all white, but one jarring quality for me regarding the musical numbers is that if you were to observe Akshay Kumar and even in some cases Ritesh Deshmukh closely, you will notice that in several instances they don't remember the lyrics of the song, trying to mask it by looking away from the camera and eating the words up, almost like a poser in a concert acting like they love Coldplay and not being able to sing any of the lyrics, but in regular intervals going, and it was all yellow. I just found it rather funny. I must say Sonam Bajwa is such a natural in choreography too. The only girl struggling through every dance number was Nargis Fakri, and if you have seen any of her movies throughout her career, you will realize that nothing really has changed regarding her dance prowess. It's sad that it's the same case for her acting too. There is a song called Phugadi Dance that is integrated as a stupid filler after the introduction of Nana Patekar in this film that possibly has to be the worst number from the movie. There are many times I wonder how the hell did Prakash Raj end up saying yes to do a dance sequence like that in Golmaal again? I have the same questions about Nana Patekar and this film. Some moments of laughter and only Akshay Kumar. I'll be honest with you straight up, the level of writing is absolutely atrocious and most of the actors are hamming to the point where it genuinely irritates you rather than entertains you. I have to say, other than the one moment where Sonam Bajwa goes in a full Punjabi rant, something that sounded like music to my ears because I've been tired of years of low effort Tennu, Mennu, Punjabi and Hindi movies, Sonam absolutely kills it in this 20 seconds where she goes in full rage mode in Punjabi. It is only, however, Akshay Kumar that genuinely made me chuckle in this film. What's funny is that many times it wasn't even Akshay Kumar delivering the dialogue that was funny, but his ability in executing ad-libs. For those who don't know, ad-libs are like spontaneous lines that are not rehearsed. You will see in several instances Akshay Kumar has the ability to deliver something in the middle of dialogues that just makes you laugh out loud. His constant frustration with Ritesh Deshmukh and his stupidity, him exclaiming to anyone being holier than thou ki tum rehne do. There's legitimately a WWE scene in a kitchen that had me cackling loudly, or the moment he gets investigated by Jackie Shroff and Sanjay Dutt, and you just see veterans doing what they do best, riffing off of each other. Akshay Kumar is the only actor from the ensemble cast that can make the absurd funny, and in this rather exhausting plot with some of the most double meaning and crass jokes actually making you laugh. If this is the level of comedy though, we are doomed, honestly. The underwhelming aspects. Double meaning comedy. I don't understand which demographic exactly this movie is aiming to entertain, because the movie really focuses on slapstick physical humor, and throughout the film, it also has undertones that really makes me feel that it is intended for mature audiences. So no, I don't expect any form of maturity or nuance in this film. I know that I'm tuning in for a silly comedy, but at least it can be slightly creative rather than heavily depending on just ogling at women. The problem is that the jokes are like typical WhatsApp forwards, and the women in this film are treated as mere ornaments, so much so that it's embarrassing. Every sequence has the male genitalia being pulled, squished or kicked, and in the grossest scene, hair from the nether regions also being pulled. This comedic pitch is still acceptable as it's juvenile and basic, but where this film really appalled me was how casually it not only the women but reduces them to be objects just to be ogled at. Saundarya Sharma plays a lawyer called Lucy, and she wears these body-hugging dresses which leads to the other characters, simply staring at her. In a scene as she drops paperwork, the characters try to get a glimpse of her bosom, ecstatic when she drops the papers again. Shreyas Talpade, while creating binoculars with the paper, states, "Is paper mein zoom kyun nahi hai?" In an altercation, she is told to raise her hands so that her garter belt can be viewed, and then the characters just keep on wanting her to raise her hands, while the camera only pans towards her legs. Saundarya is simply to be visually harassed in this film and has little scope for any acting impression. She literally tries to woo someone over by saying, "मैंने तुम्हारे लिए तो इतनी surgeries भी करवाई हैं." This is true for Jacqueline, Sonam and Nargis too. While Sonam still fares the best of the three, the main point of the makers is to present them in mostly scantily clad dresses, making the makers' male gaze even more apparent, while making the actresses crawl through a vent just to show off their legs and bosoms. Shreyas Talpade is the most odd and creepy character in this movie, wanting to cop a feel any chance he gets, leading to several uncomfortable scenes. अभी मैं और क्या कहूँ? सबके सब ठोकते रहो? तालियां! This is a line from the movie, by the way. A lot of shouting and random callbacks. I really wanted to sit, relax and have a good time, but the film, for long running minutes, just ends up being a shouting match on who can scream louder, all as an assumption that if one delivers their dialogue at a higher pitch, they will immediately become funny. This is especially true for the sequences starring Jackie Shroff and Sanjay Dutt. The two veterans are seen screaming at the top of their lungs, so much so that in instances the movie just becomes and nothing more. To see Johnny Lever in this film is absolute torture. An actor who I consider to be such a vital part of me growing up and hysterically laughing at the Hindi cinema reruns on television is reduced to delivering such cringe-worthy dialogues, you really wonder what a waste of talent this truly is. Johnny is found mostly sharing screen space with Chunky Pandey as Aakhri Pasta, and I will say, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but I have never found this character funny. Neither is Chunky Pandey's delivery anything special, nor is this character inherently hilarious. He's just a creepy, weird uncle. The film tries to make sure that we realize that this movie is a part of a franchise by doing several callbacks. They introduce animals to the scenes, we get a talking parrot, and the worst CGI monkeys I've ever seen battle it out with Akshay Kumar, making most of the film, especially the second half, unbearable and tough to sit through. Wasted and irritating characters. You know, when you can see a movie and just through the aesthetic and vibe of the characters, you can tell it's a particular director's movie. Like I know the way the background music plays during dialogues in a movie, I can tell it's a Rajkumar Hirani movie. If I see, say, terrible VFX, I know it's a YRF Spy Universe film. But this is a movie where you can clearly tell that it is also co-written by Farhad Samji because his idea of comedy has not changed in close to 2 decades. The humor is of the level that if I say jalebi and you hear farebi, and then for 5 minutes I'll keep on referencing jalebi, but you'll keep on thinking farebi until one of us gets slapped. As I have used a food item and an adjective as an example, the writing mainly uses the women for the gags, as they are mostly referenced as mal, cheese, or whatever derogatory term you can think of. The writing is filled with dated stereotypes. A particular character speaking in Urdu is doing Janab and Begum, a Nepali character is going Shabji and making khukri jokes. These are still the level of jokes people are delivering. I mean, it's embarrassing on how our level of humor still has not evolved, and we deem this to be like, wow, ye hoti hai comedy. Fardeen Khan is mostly seen with a grimace on his face, annoyed of his surroundings. Chitrangana barely gets any scope to create an impression. Dino is mostly shirtless. So there's some motivation for you, I guess. What's crazy is the lazy manner in which the film concludes its storyline. It almost all over its plot development. And as I saw this film borrow scenes from horror movies like Kaal and even become a bootleg version of Hangama at one point, I realized that the bar is too low for movies today. The only intrigue that this film produces is for you to know the identity of the killer, and when it is revealed and there is literally no level of shock amongst the audience in the theatre, you start to wonder to highlight क्या था. Title card काफी innovative था. अक्षय ने थोड़ा हंसाया. बाकी वही नेदर रीजन्स पे ऐसे पंच मारो या किक मारो या एल्बो मारो और लड़कियों को शॉर्ट ड्रेसेस में ताड़ते रहो. You know what? I would actually urge you to stay till the end credits, because the outtakes of this movie are funnier than the movie. Abhishek Bachchan has a condition in this movie where in heated situations he falls asleep. This condition would have really come in handy for this film. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about Housefull 5. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.